Thank you, Madam President. Most of the time when you hear people talk about the state's housing challenges, they're talking about New York City. But as everyone in this chamber knows, a shortage of affordable housing, it's a problem in every part of our state, from Albany to Rochester to Buffalo and everywhere in between. But there's something our housing policies have not accounted for before, and that is the problems facing our upstate cities. And those problems are very different from the problems of New York City's. New York City's challenges are based on a shortage of available land. For decades, maybe longer, they've had nowhere to build but up. And so most of the state's housing programs were created to solve that problem. If you have a building site, the state will pay you to put as many units on that site as possible. Makes sense if you're in Brooklyn. But most of our programs apply that one-size-fits-all approach to the entire state. With this budget, we're taking a big step forward on that issue. We're creating regional solutions for regional problems. We're investing $80 million in 2 new programs that will add safe and affordable homes and rental units throughout upstate New York. The first $40 million is going to go to infill housing program. The program will empower HCR to build 1 and 2 family homes in Buffalo, Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, and Binghamton. These are cities that have thousands and thousands of vacant lots. When Buffalo's population started declining a few decades ago, we experienced a housing surplus. Our response, which was state-funded, which was to demolish thousands and thousands of homes over the last 20 years, and boy, would we like those units back now. The program will cover construction costs for new houses on those lots, and it'll subsidize the sales of the new homes to low and moderate income residents, people who live in those neighborhoods. The increased subsidy of those homes will help another problems upstate cities face, and that's a declining tax base. So infill isn't just a housing solution. It's building infrastructure to help create stability in these cities' budgets for a long time. So we're viewing this as a holistic program that will add a lot of benefits. The additional $40 million will help fund a new grant program to help upstate landlords fix up vacant rental properties. Now, the average landlord in Buffalo and Binghamton, they're a lot different than the average landlord in Manhattan. We're not talking about billionaires with big portfolios and maybe a skyscraper or 2. We're talking about a retired municipal worker who lives in a 2-family house, raised her kids in that double, but now she's a widower who can't afford to fix the furnace in the upstairs apartment, so it stays vacant. This is the first time we've ever created a program for this type of landlord. But the benefits really go to the tenants. The program will bring thousands of rental units back on the market, will help bring rental costs down. In exchange, the landlords will keep the rents affordable for 10 years. And on top of those 2 programs, we're putting $10 million into an eviction program for upstate New York. We've been struggling for several years to come up with a comprehensive statewide policy for housing, and I believe with the addition of these policies, we have reached a comprehensive plan. I want to make a special thanks to Senator Kavanaugh, Chair of the Housing Committee, for his help in getting this done. He came to Buffalo in January. He saw our housing struggles firsthand, and in the months since, he's been involved in meetings with land banks and legal services provider. And of course, I want to thank our leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, for understanding how important it is for us to pass a housing solutions for every part of the state. I vote in the affirmative.